So we're continuing on in chapter 20. And this is a very inspiring section here, as you will see in just a moment. It's rich, like a rich dessert. You don't need a lot of it. It's not very long, but like each line is meaningful and powerful. So I really like what we're doing here. And so welcome to Miracles on High Plains. My name is Jonica, and our reader for this session is Julie. There's something I want to go over, the terms that we're going to. We've encountered them before. They happened to be mentioned several times in this section, and I thought it would be good to show them all in one place at a time. And broadly speaking, these are the laws of eternity, the laws of creation. And roughly, you could group them into three different categories. And by contrast, the laws of time and of ego are the ones that you're most familiar with, because those are the ones that people assume are the unchallengeable, indisputable laws of reality. This is the assumption here. So, and that includes other things that the ego dictates, such as the inevitability of death and guilt, et cetera, et cetera. We contrast them with the laws of creation, which are the highest eternal laws of true reality. And in between that is the bridge. It's the domain of the mind, includes the laws of mind, especially the laws of healing. Forgiveness fits in there. And your part in choosing the laws of decision, your willingness to consistently choose. So that's true for the entire Course of Miracles, and it's also true for our reading today. Any questions about that? Okay, we'll go on.
In this world, God's Son comes closest to himself in a holy relationship. There he begins to find the certainty his Father has in him. And there he finds his function of restoring his Father's laws to what was held outside them and finding what was lost. Only in time can anything be lost, and never lost forever. So do the parts of God's Son gradually join in time, and with each joining is the end of time brought nearer. Each miracle of joining is a mighty herald of eternity. No one who has a single purpose, unified and sure, can be afraid. No one who shares his purpose with him can not be one with him.
So we could look at this from a number of angles if we were just to look at it from the angle of the laws of time versus the laws of eternity. It expresses that, yes, there are the Father's laws, but they have been lost, forgotten, temporarily forgotten, lost to mind. And they are lost only in time. The laws of creation are not lost in eternity. but they are temporarily lost or forgotten in time. And so the role here of healing is to restore the memory of the Father's laws. Again, these are the laws of love, the laws of creation, the laws of union. These are laws that prevail in eternity and govern your eternal identity, your spiritual nature. And so, in order for us to be fully aligned with our spiritual purpose, we need to understand these principles, these laws that govern our nature. So that would be, that's a truism. Now, what it says in this paragraph is that in a holy relationship, that's where, I'd like to use my pointer, that's where we come closest to these truths, to this profound awareness of our true nature is in a holy relationship. Again, it's with another. It's where you see the light in another person, and as a result, they reflect back to you that the light is within you, and your understanding is illuminated as a result of your recognition of the light. But you can't do it by yourself. It's not a self-centered way. It's a path that is done by joining with others. And so the the parts of God's Son gradually join in time. And as they join, time comes nearer to its conclusion. Said another way, the plan of atonement will conclude when all the parts of God's Son are joined together. Okay, so that's the big picture. But know that every time there's a joining, it is like a call. Here it uses the word a herald of the bigger plan of atonement, the plan of eternity. So every miracle is a reflection of that bigger plan. Later on, we'll realize that there is only one miracle, and each time you experience a miracle, you're experiencing an aspect of the one gigantic, all-encompassing miracle. And that, of course, removes all fear and results in a unification with reality, with all the laws of God, and with a sense of meaning and purpose that are found in the original plan of creation. So, to summarize again, each miracle of joining, every time in a holy relationship you have a holy encounter, that is a reflection of something much, much bigger that is a part of the plan of creation and operates and functions according to the Father's laws. So we can remember those laws through our having these experiences of a holy relationship. It's not, said another way, it's not an intellectual thing. It's an experience between you and the light, and recognizing the light in somebody else, which helps you to recognize the light in you. That experience is what triggers the memory of the Father's laws. We'll go into this deeper.
Each herald of eternity sings of the end of sin and fear. Each speaks in time of what is far beyond it. Two voices raised together call to the hearts of everyone to let them beat as one. And in that single heartbeat is the unity of love proclaimed and given welcome. Peace to your holy relationship, which has the power to hold the unity of the Son of God together. You give to your brother for everyone, and in your gift is everyone made glad. Forget not who has given you the gifts you give, and through your not forgetting this, will you remember who gave the gifts to him to give to you.
Yeah, well, we'll go over that last line in just a second. So remember each miracle is a herald of eternity. Each time it speaks in time of what is far beyond time. Said another way, a miracle is a partial reflection of eternity, of heaven itself. And as we said a moment ago, it occurs in a holy encounter, a holy relationship. So it requires two voices joined together. It's two minds agreeing on a common purpose in synchronizing and both saying yes to something. It can be any form. I use the example of let's prepare a meal together. Two people cooperating to cook a meal is joining together and done in a harmonious way. Joined together, that joining is a reflection of the joining of all creation, so that it calls to everyone. It, in a way that is beyond your own individual consciousness, it's a part of the transpersonal level. You are actually experiencing in joining with one person the same process that is involved in joining with everyone. This is something we've seen before in A Course in Miracles, that the process of healing is always the same. It's a simple process that occurs over and over and over again and reflects a process that in total, as we read just a moment ago, unites all the parts of God's Son together. So, and thus it brings peace to your mind, for it unites your mind with the laws of creation, and in the unconscious state, your mind is usually ignorant of the laws of creation and therefore not operating according to them. That creates a type of inner tension when your choices are not in line with peace and love. And when you are making choices in line with peace and love, it brings you in union with the laws of creation. Peace and love naturally flow forth. And this is what binds the sons of God together. So this last set of thoughts here refer to this holy relationship as your gift. It's you're recognizing the light in another is a type of blessing or gift to them. So you give to your brother on behalf of everyone. And thus, in your gift, is everyone made glad. Do not forget who's given you the gifts you give. And by not forgetting this, you'll remember who gave the gifts to him to give to you. So this is typical, of course, the hims and yous and whos become somewhat ambiguous, but we're told at the end that someone has given the gifts to the Son. So I'll interpret this, and you'll remember the Father who gave the gifts to the Son to give to you, would be one way of interpreting it's not important that you be able to untangle all these poetic renderings. Just know that all gifts have a source, and the source is the creator himself, and they are passed down. It's like a cascade on down until they finally are yours to give to your brother. Again, another part of the cascade is the gifts that you have. The gift of your blessing, of your gratitude, is meant to be given to your brother. That's passing on the gifts. And in so doing, by not forgetting that you have these gifts, you'll remember the creator who gave the gifts. Let's go on.
It is impossible to overestimate your brother's value. Only the ego does this, but all it means is that it wants the other for itself and therefore values him too little. What is inestimable clearly cannot be evaluated. Do you recognize the fear that rises from the meaningless attempt to judge what lies so far beyond your judgment you cannot even see it? Judge not what is invisible to you, or you will never see it, but wait in patience for its coming. It will be given you to see your brother's worth when all you want for him is peace. And what you want for him, you will receive.
So everything in this paragraph was on the same theme. I want to point it out. Your brother's value, which is infinite, it cannot be evaluated. By attempting to evaluate or judge the value of another soul, you're falling into the ego's domain of a meaningless attempt to judge. So judge not what is invisible, the value of your brother. It's like it's invisible, just as in many ways love, unconditional love, while you might see evidence of it, the love itself is invisible to you. And so this touches on a most important concept here, is what is your brother, your neighbor, so to speak, worth to you? What is their worth? And the reason why this becomes so psychologically and spiritually important is because, from the ego's perspective, it views you as of very little worth. Said another way, the ego devalues you and makes it seem like you're unlovable, not worthy of love, not worthy of forgiveness, etc., etc. And there's a tendency then to take that sense of worthlessness and project it outward onto others, because it's so uncomfortable to acknowledge that those feelings arise. The mind instead tries to project it outwardly, and thus feel as though other people are worthless. And that becomes an ego trap. So the healing to that, to heal that that madness, is to recognize the truth that your brother's value is, let's see if I can say it right, inestimable. Inestimable. You cannot estimate it. It's beyond estimation because it's of infinite value. And so, therefore, never try to judge the value of yourself or the value of another. This is said in other places in the Course, but instead lean on Christ's vision as Christ evaluates you as being infinitely valuable. For in other words, you lean on your brother for that choice so that you don't have to. You just trust that Christ sees you in the highest of lights. And this is vital because we can't overcome this obstacle as long as we are judging ourselves and then using that as a basis of judging others. And this is the biggest issue, friends. I've said it before. The last judgment you'll ever make is the one is where you'll release the one you have towards yourself. It's the one you've lived with your entire life. It goes with you wherever you go, and it's involved in every interaction that you have, is the way you view yourself. For your brothers are but mirrors of yourself. So it will be given, so in healing, it will be given to you, this gift, to see your brother's worth as infinitely valuable. In order to do that, all you have to want for is to want your brother to be at peace. And what you want for him, you will receive.
How can you estimate the worth of him who offers peace to you? What would you want except his offering? His worth has been established by his Father, and you will recognize it as you receive his Father's gift through him. What is in him will shine so brightly in your grateful vision that you will merely love him and be glad. You will not think to judge him, for who would see the face of Christ and yet insist that judgment still has meaning? For this insistence is of those who do not see. Vision or judgment is your choice, but never both of these.
Mm-hmm. So again, as we said earlier, in a holy relationship is where the opportunity for the gifts to be given and recognized, and then your eyes open. Here, the light that is given by the Creator, He creates our being. We are as God created. I am as God created me. The Father gave us this nature, and you will recognize it as you honor it in someone else. As you see and honor, see with your soul, it's not with your physical eyes, as you're willing to acknowledge that another person has the light in them, in that very moment, your own perception shifts so that you can recognize it in yourself. This is the law of giving and receiving. It's repeated again and again. The first law of the Holy Spirit is to have, give all to all. Give recognition of the light in others so that you will have recognition of it in yourself. The opposite choice would be to think that it's your part to judge your brother, and in doing that you raise an obstacle or a veil that covers your sight and would leave you not functioning according to the laws of healing, but instead back to the laws of the ego and confusion. And none of what we're talking about here would be evident to you in that moment because the veil raised on your own understanding would have interfered with appreciating these things. Never both vision and judgment, only one or the other.
Your brother's body is as little use to you as it is to him. When it is used only as the Holy Spirit teaches, it has no function. For minds need not the body to communicate. The sight that sees the body has no use which serves the purpose of a holy relationship. And while you look upon your brother thus, the means and end have not been brought in line. Why should it take so many holy instants to let this be accomplished when one would do? There is but one. The little breath of eternity that runs through time like golden light is all the same. Nothing before it, nothing afterwards. You look upon each holy instant as a different point in time. It never changes.
Mm-hmm. So I have to admit to having some perplexity at the statement right up at the top regarding the body that says when it is used only as the Holy Spirit teaches, it has no function. I can understand it just right now in this moment. I got understanding. The function is performed by your mind. It's the mind that forgives. It's the mind that chooses not to judge and not to participate in the laws of ego. It's not the body that makes those choices. The function of seeing the light in another is a choice of your mind. Your body is present for all that, but it's not the one making the decisions to do those things, to live according to the laws of healing. It's merely along for the ride. And so when it's used only as the Holy Spirit teaches, and this would be in a holy encounter, in a holy instant, then it has no function, for the mind needs not the body to communicate. Now, this can be extended to other interpretations, which would include when you're physically by yourself and thinking of another person. You're obviously probably not speaking out loud to them, but your thoughts are very much with them. you're at the level of the one universal mind, you're sending a message when you think about another person. We don't usually, in the ordinary world of time and space, we tend to discount those things as being our private thoughts that nobody else is aware of. But at the level of the one mind of creation, you're using your mind to communicate, not your body. So I don't want to belabor that point, but ultimately you have to realize that your thoughts are prayers. The thoughts reflect the way you view what you view to be meaningful, to be of value. It reflects how you see yourself and what your function is. And this becomes increasingly important, especially when we are using our body only as the Holy Spirit teaches. When we are serving the purpose of a holy relationship. All right, so someone just wanted to join in, and that's usually when a Zoom bomber joins. So let's see who shows up. I'm going to let them in. So the question that is put forth here is, since you've had these experiences before with others in moments of kindness and caring and listening and concern, why should it take so many holy instants to allow this connection, this joining to be accomplished when just one would do? One holy encounter would be enough to awaken your understanding that love is real. And so, what the Course says is each holy encounter is but a reflection of eternity that runs through time like a golden light, like a spiritual light, if you will. Every expression of love is a reflection of a higher, greater reality that encompasses God's plan for creation. And so it should not take thousands of expressions of love for you to grasp that you're a part of something greater than you when you have those experiences. When only one would be enough. And so here's the reason why. Because we tend to frame things in terms of time and space, but these are gifts from eternity. And so the reason is we look upon each holy instant as if it's a different point in time. So if you have an experience in January and then another experience of love in February, you tend to view them as entirely different. Do we not? The truth is, they are but reflections of the same reality, the same laws, the same principles. This more and more, this is how you come to see creation as a unified plan that unites all of us, are interconnected, not because we're in the same time or the same spatial location, but because we're operating according to the same laws of creation. Those laws of creation are what join us together in a common purpose, serving the purpose of a holy relationship.
You look upon each holy instant as a different point in time. It never changes. All that it ever held or will ever hold is here, right now. The past takes nothing from it, and the future will add no more. Here, then, is everything. Here is the loveliness of your relationship, with means and end in perfect harmony already. Here is the perfect faith that you will one day offer to your brother, already offered you. And here, the limitless forgiveness you will give him, already given. The face of Christ you yet will look upon, already seen.
So this is very transcendental, what is being referred to here. And I want to pause a little bit to break it down because otherwise it could just sound like poetry, which it is, but be dismissed as not particularly meaningful or being too obscure. So we said a moment ago that we do tend to look at things at different points in time and different points in space and think of them as unrelated and separate and different. That even our language, different points in time, different points in space. That would be a very time-space way of looking at things, all unrelated. What the Course is saying is when they share a common purpose of holy relationship, they are all aspects or reflections of the one light of all creation. They are all expressions of the laws of creation appearing in time, yes, like a golden thread of light in time, but their source is perfectly unified. And that source is not confined to time. It's an eternal source. And so it is always happening. It's the eternal present or the eternal now. It never stops. It's continuous. And it contains, because of its source, it contains the entire plane of creation. Here then is everything. And it's in perfect harmony already. It's the complete plan of creation shining on you and I in time. And I submit that when those moments happen, if you're paying attention and you value these things, you can recognize it, that you can tell when someone's being kind to you. You can tell when someone's forgiving you. You know, we all make mistakes, and they're not holding that against us. You can tell when somebody is being patient and listening to you and showing respect for you and caring and being helpful. These are expressions of something greater, not something that emerged out of the laws of the ego. And you can live these experiences. These are not just lofty ideas. These are things that you can choose to do with your own life, because we are blessed as a son of God, and we do have blessings to give. It's our gifts to give, and as we give them to others, our recognition will open up and we'll realize that we too have these gifts and are blessed. And let's see, this last line here. Let me read the whole sentence. Here's the perfect faith that you will one day offer to your brother, already offered you. The perfect faith has already been offered you. But whether or not you pass along and give it to your brother is a choice that you must make. And here, the limitless forgiveness you will give him already given. The face of Christ you yet will look upon already seen. So, what they're saying is that the holy instant is already occurred. We're not waiting for it to show up for the first time in some future time experience, that it is forever and always. It's already here. The instant of blessing is already upon us. And it's continuous. It never changes. It's here right now. And therefore, the vision of holiness of yourself as only light and love, which we symbolize as the face of Christ, is already within you. It actually says it's already seen inside the holy instant. For the only way you can experience the holy instant is to be free of all that guilt and all that fear and all that judgment and all that self-condemnation. It's already, if you've had the experience once, that's evidence it's already here. Okay. So, and what, so the key here is it's not defined by different moments in time and different experiences in space. It's defined by its source, which is everywhere and always present with us, waiting for the reflection of that light to be shared with your brother so that you might realize it yourself, recognize it yourself.
Can you elevate the giver of a gift like this? Would you exchange this gift for any other? This gift returns the laws of God to your remembrance. And merely by remembering them, the laws that held you prisoner to pain and death must be forgotten. This is no gift your brother's body offers you. The veil that hides the gift hides him as well. He is the gift, and yet he knows it not. No more do you. And yet, have faith that he who sees the gift in you and your brother will offer and receive it for both. And through his vision will you see it, and through his understanding, recognize it and love it as your own.
So beforehand, I spent a little bit of time with these last two sentences here. Have faith that spirit, who already recognizes the gift within you, it's part of your nature, the light is already within you, and already recognizes it's in your brother. Have faith that spirit will offer and receive the gift for you both, that the transaction of giving and receiving, of your recognizing the light in them and them recognizing the light in you, is a transaction. I call it a transaction. That's a spiritual transaction that's waiting to occur. And how will you know that it occurs? How will your mind say, oh, that must have been a miracle? What just happened? was no ordinary moment. It was an instant of golden light. Well, it will occur through his vision, which we're later elaborates, that's the vision of Christ. You won't see it with your own lower mind eyes. You will recognize it through a higher vision, which comes from the holy vision of Christ. Through his vision, you'll see it. And as a result of that vision, you will understand and recognize it and love it as your own. Love the gift, love the light as your own. So, in other words, you're not doing this on your own by yourself. This is something where you hitch a ride. You plug into the power of a holy vision that has already been established, and you utilize that power, and by so doing, it opens your eyes of understanding and your recognition so that you realize it's not something separate from you, but that it is a part of your own nature. This is really just another way of saying you wake up to your true purpose, your true self. And you do so in these encounters. After all, it's seeing the gift in you and your brother and offering and receiving the gift between you and your brother. That's the field in which your awakening occurs.
Be comforted and feel the Holy Spirit watching over you in love and perfect confidence in what he sees. He knows the Son of God and shares his Father's certainty the universe rests in his gentle hands, in safety and in peace. Let us consider now what he must learn to share his Father's confidence in him. What is he that the creator of the universe should offer it to him and know it rests in safety? He looks upon himself not as his Father knows him, and yet it is impossible the confidence of God should be misplaced.
I'm going to read the first sentences in the next section. They appear in the next section. The meaning of the Son of God lies solely in his relationship with his Creator. If it were elsewhere, it would rest on contingency. But there is nothing else. And this is wholly loving and forever. So the idea that is, can we say, teased up here at the end, that'll have to be played out in the next section, is one that we talked before. How do you see yourself? And the error is that we look upon ourselves not as the creators know us. We look upon ourselves as the ego would choose to view ourselves. And with that, it causes us to believe that love is conditional, that that it would rest on contingency. You will be meaning your lovability depends on what you do from this point forward. It's contingent upon your choices and your behavior. This is the way the ego would have you believe. This is the great lie that love, if you don't measure up, well, then you're unlovable. So it's just a part of the great lie. The truth is just the opposite, that the creators love is unconditional, and it's impossible that the confidence of God in you should be misplaced or forgotten or conditioned or contingent upon any activities in time and space. It is impossible, for it's unconditional, eternally unconditional. And so the undoing of this confusion about how we look upon ourselves is talked about in the workbook. I am as God created me. Here we'll express it as the meaning of your life, of your very being, lies solely in your holy relationship with your Creator. This is the universal principle, is that your identity is fundamentally found within the Creator's plan. And any identity that would pretend to be apart from the Creator's plan is a plan of separation, is part of an ego illusion that you're not a part of the Creator's plan, you're something else. Again, looking upon yourself not as your Father looks upon you. So it seems to me, I haven't read the next section recently, but it seems to me as though they're introducing this idea. I wouldn't be at all surprised if it appears in the next few paragraphs of the next section. You'll have to come back for that, for that's all that we're going to read tonight. I'll leave you with one or two final thoughts here. There is one holy instant, a little breath of eternity that runs through time like golden light. It is all the same. Nothing is before it, nothing is after it. It is an eternal light. And AI expressed this in its own clever way of contrasting the obstacles of body-centered identity, of self-evaluation, self-judgment, of being a prisoner to all the sense of I'm living in a body as my identity. Contrast that with the plan for the Holy Spirit to awaken us through joining with our brother, having holy instants, and doing so by recognizing the inestimable value of your brother. This is where you stand in a light that is greater than your own sense of yourself. Okay, well, that's as far as we're going to go with our reading today. But that was a lot to consider, and even an indication of what is to come very shortly in our next section. So I want to thank you all for being here and honor you for your willingness to undo these laws of ego and the belief that we're imprisoned in time and space and all these separate instances, and be willing to recognize that there's something greater, the laws of creation, and it's shining down on us. And all these instances that we have in time are all a reflection of the same light that shines on us all. So thank you. Thank you, Julie, for reading. Thank you all for your attendance, and namaste.
Namaste. Thank you.
Namaste. Thanks,
Thank you,
Julie.
Jonica.
Namaste,
Thank you, everyone.
everyone.
Bye,
You're
everyone.
welcome.
Jonica. Bye.
Thanks, Jonica.
Let our light shine.
Let it shine, indeed.